Our economy is unbalanced and unprofitable. Every year, 80% of Americans are losing money. As a nation, we are so weak we cannot handle the cost of the war in Iraq. Neither Republicans nor Democrats have a good plan to get us out of this war without trashing our economy. 60% of the manufacturing business we had in 1980 has closed its doors in the United States and is now far away from the United States. 80% of today's economy, the service sector, cannot reach them and cannot serve them. 80% of American bosses and workers are stuck in an unprofitable service sector with only a shriveled manufacturing base and a lot of underpaid consumers to serve. In the census report of 2002, the survey of business owners found that there were 23 million companies registered in the United States as a business. 75.5% of American businesses responding to the census do not employ anyone. Only 4.2 million businesses in the United States actually claim to hire an employee to do actual work. This is in a country of 300 million people. About half of all businesses were home-based businesses. 22% of home-based businesses did have at least one employee. That's helpful. 75% of U.S. business are dependent upon the American consumer as a direct customer. This means that 3/4 of all American business would be more successful if the American consumer had more money. There's a way to do that. If the government charged an import tariff on consumer goods and sub-assemblies imported from foreign countries, investors would know it is safe, for the first time since 1980, to invest in a manufacturing plant inside the United States. If the American consumer had a steady manufacturing job, he'd have money to spend. And if American products were available in those 75% of American businesses, the manufacturing worker as consumer would have the money to buy them. If manufacturing plants were located in the United States, service sector businesses could serve them, thereby increasing their profits, hiring more employees, growing, paying their bills, and having money to spend on Saturday night. When cheap foreign products and sub-assemblies flood our market, it drives manufacturing out of business. The owner builds a new plant in China or moves into the overcrowded service sector. The service sector cannot render services to the manufacturing plant in China, so that's another big customer he's lost. And the increasing number of service sector businesses has only increased the competition between them. Service sector is overcrowded and unprofitable. Service sector employees are underpaid. 60% of our manufacturing is in a foreign country, so earnings in the service sector are small. The American consumer, reliant upon shrinking salaries of service sector business for his income, doesn't have much to spend, and therefore 75% of American business, reliant upon the increasingly impoverished American consumer for their earnings, do not report good earnings. And that was in 2002. 2002 was the good year. Since 2002, the value of the dollar has dropped 40%. The price of diesel fuel now wavers between $3 and $3.50 per gallon. President Bush obstinately increases the number of men in Iraq, and the fatalities have increased from 4 men each week in 2004 to 25 each week in 2007. We cannot bring peace in Iraq using the tactics we used in Vietnam. The incompetent Iraqi government is a flailing mass of jellyfish threatening from all sides by websites which promise them an automatic sentence of death. 45 million American kids between age 16 and 26 will work 10 different jobs in 10 years before they find something to lift them over the poverty line. They will live 3 and 4 and 6 to an apartment. They will live for 2 decades in debt. Even those who go to college, even though 34% of them will never finish college. They'll come out of college owing more than $20,000 or less than $50,000, and unless they work in hospitals emptying the bedpans of baby boomers, they will not earn more than $600 a week until they've been in the workforce 5 years. And the Republicans will continue to insist that we need to keep the H-1B visa and import thousands of engineers, programmers, mathematicians, and scientists into this country each year to drive down the cost of college graduate labor. While Democrats continue to insist we need to keep the 20 million illegal aliens in this country to drive down the price of high school dropout labor. It quickly becomes obvious both parties are cooperating to sabotage the American people. Who pays them to do this? While our fearless leaders give themselves raises and fail to act on Social Security, while pensions disappear from every company in the United States, when the Supreme Court recognizes the right of city government to use eminent domain to throw the American family out of its home so that wealthy developers can build another mall, when lawsuits against rich corporations which victimize their employees, their neighbors, and their customers are thrown out of court, while government refuses to allow itself to be sued, when the number of unemployed measured by government is estimated at 4.6% of the population, but the number of people who cannot afford to eat, estimated by the same government, is measured at 13% of the population, sooner or later it may dawn on the majority of the American people that we are all victims, we are all suckers, we are all losers, we are all being defrauded by a conspiracy of repocrats and demoblicans. We are all being put out of our homes, we are all unable to meet our bills, and it is the fault of the losers and fakers we have elevated to positions of authority and the White House. Now it is time to take away that authority. It is time to pull the props from under the phonies and liars and put some new blood in Congress and the Senate. Let the word go forth among all Americans. We will no longer vote for the lifetime incumbent. We don't vote for lawyers. We don't vote for liars. No liars, no lawyers, no lifers. We need new blood in our government, and it needs to be clean blood. Let's elect businessmen instead of stockbrokers. Let's elect soldiers instead of lobbyists. Let's elect middle managers and project managers and operations managers, people who know how to mobilize groups of people to get things done. Let's move the conceited blowhards and their orchestrated debates out of the Senate, out of the Congress, out of the White House, and let's use what we've learned from our elitist Supreme Court to construct future legislation so the American people can at last have some real rights, some economic stability, and some success on the world stage. I am Quixote, and I'm from Chicago. Show me what you can do. I'll put your butt to work.